Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping, where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. This week, it's the Pennsylvania Derby from Parx Racing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The pick four starts with race number 8, and it finishes in race 11. They're all stakes races, including the two Pennsylvania Derby. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Now I'm hoping a little bit later that we might get Ray Torado in here from Staten Island, New York. Ray is currently out at a family event. So right now I do have on the line with me from Temecula, California. Joe, how you doing?
I'm well, Rich. How about yourself this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good. I think I actually had a pretty good lead-in question for us here tonight. So this is what I like to think of as the last of the big money route races that are still kind of restricted to 3-year-olds. It's been a fine racing season, and I'm happy and proud to say the three broke guys have enjoyed it together. At this point, if you got an Eclipse Award, Joe, for 3-year-old of the year, who are you going with?
Wow, that is a tough call. Shoot.
In September right now.
Yeah, no, it's actually too close to call. I think a lot will depend on how these horses perform on the championship days at Belmont and Santa Anita, and of course at the Breeders' Cup, and even given we don't know that any of the 3-year-olds are going to win any of the races, it may actually even go into the winter racing at Del Mar and even races like the Cigar Mile in New York. If I had to go now, wow, I'd have to go with Exaggerator because he won the Preakness and he won the Haskell. So those two grade ones probably give him a slight edge over everybody else at the moment, but it's still up in the air. It's still wide open. There's 5 across the track, and it's at the quarter pole, and there's still plenty of time for any of them to get home.
And I think that's an excellent thing. I think Exaggerator has probably done enough on class that he merits consideration right there. I would mention though the horse that Baffert's got going around the track like he's named Eric as well. So. All right, we are now going to turn our attention to Parx Racing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No weather update this week from Anastasia Austin, so you guys are back to getting me. All right, so tomorrow, Saturday, September the 24th, at Parx Racing, they have AM clouds and a forecast for PM sunshine. A high of 74, low of 51. There is a 20% precipitation, so keep that in mind throughout the day as you watch that track. All right, there are a total of 12 races. There's 5 stakes on tap Saturday. For tonight, we are focused on the pick 4. It begins in race number 8. It concludes in race number 11. Joe, gates are locked and loaded. Shall we get started?
Yep, spring the latch. Let's go.
Race 8. The approximate post time for this race is 3:41 p.m. Eastern Time. Joe, I was going to ask you, do we have a guarantee in the pick 4?
I do not know of any guarantee, no.
All right. Starts off with the Pennsylvania Derby Champion Stakes. They're going a mile and a 16th on the main track. The purse is $150,000. This is for 3-year-olds and upwards. 7 starters, and your morning line favorite at 2-1 is in post number 5. It's Mr. Jordan for trainer Edward Plisa Jr. and ridden by Paco Lopez. Joe, we're in Philly. I'll tell you, it's a basketball town, and we got a favorite named Mr. Jordan. It's a slam dunk, right?
Just give me a cheesesteak. That's really the only slam dunk. I'm just not sure whether I want Pat's or Geno's. But anyway, it's been a long time since I've been to Philly. This is an interesting race. I think the favorites all pretty much have about the same running style. I think they all want to be on or near the lead. And to me, actually, that might set it up for my selection. And my top pick is the 1, Cyrus Alexander, shipping in from California for the Jerry Hollendorfer, Rafael Bejarano combination. And I think this horse is best when he's making one run as a closer. And like I said, I think the favorites pretty much have mostly the same style. They want to be on or near the lead. Generally, I think Philly Park, well, actually, it used to be called Philly Park. I'm sorry, I'm dating myself. Parx Racing is actually, it favors speed, but I don't know if it favors this kind of speed in 3 of them, who probably would be battling for the lead. And my guess is maybe my second choice might actually take back just a little bit and sit outside. My second choice is the 7, Tale of Life, the Japanese bred by Deep Impact. And I know you, Rich, you know from watching racing from Asia that Deep Impact is a classy classy sire, and he sired a lot of very good horses over there. So I don't think this horse has done anything wrong. He's going in the right direction, and Grand Motion and Florent Giroux is a good combination. They will be fine, and the horse seems to be getting better. And I'm hopeful that this horse can take back a little bit off the inside speed horses, Mr. Jordan, and the other horse, his name escapes me at the moment, Rest Judicata. I think Tale of Life might get first run, but again, I think there's enough speed that Cyrus Alexander is going to be able to make his one run. And like I said, I think he does best when he makes one run. He does need some pace help, but he's been working consistently. And I don't think there are really any world beaters in this race. Tale of Life, like I said, is the second choice on the morning line, but he hasn't even won a stakes race. He ran in stakes earlier in his career, but on turf. So we haven't seen we don't know how good he is on dirt. He's done well so far, like I said, and he really hasn't taken a bad step since he's gotten on dirt. So I like him second best. And my third choice, who really is more a B pick for me, is the number 3 horse in this spot, Bodhisattva, another horse who I think could benefit from a lively pace. That last race, I'm not sure why they tried the horse at 1.5 miles. Generally, 1.5 mile races don't favor closers because the paces are usually very slow. And I'm not sure where this horse actually is because all of his wins have been on the Maryland and the Delaware circuit. And he might need a pace meltdown in order to get the job done. But like I said, he's a B pick. For me, it's Cyrus Alexander and Tale of Life as the A picks, and Cyrus Alexander's the chop choice. And at 6-1 on the morning line, I think you'll get fair value here. So it's 1-7 with the 3 for me, Rich. So what else? What can you add that I haven't already covered?
Okay, well, I will share with the audience that the missing broke guy, Ray Torado, again, our Staten Island friend, has placed the number 2 pick, Encryption, trained by Kelly Breen and written by Nick Warhead as his top pick. So that is Ray's lone 8 pick in this race. And he backed it up with Cyrus Alexander, who Joe mentioned. He also backed it up with the number 5 horse, which is Mr. Jordan, the favorite. And he also backed it up with the number 7 pick, which is Tale of Life. And now I will go ahead and give you my pick. And you know what's surprising, Joe, is that, we didn't hit last week. We didn't hit it at Woodbine. We didn't hit the week before that at Kentucky Downs. We're on a bit of a slump again here. I think we missed both weeks over at Saratoga as well. And so our handicapping, as far as the horses, is not all that good and like that. But amazingly enough, as you see all the circles here and like that, handicapping each other is getting just much, much better because you just hit my angle completely in this race before I even get to it, which is, my eyes pop out of my head when I see Deep Impact. So this is one of my favorite Saturday late night horses to watch. Watching racing over in Japan. Of course, love Sunday Silence. And when you watch racing over in Japan, you find out that probably about 60-65% of the starters in any given race are either by Deep Impact or Sunday Silence. And so in this race, Grand Motion's got one, Tale of Life. He's got Florent Giroux, one of my favorite jockeys, is up on this horse. As you see there, his last 4 races, he's been at or either wins or first or second. And he fits one of our favorite angles here. So this is Tale of Life and, stepping up in the stakes company a day and things like that. And so right now, technically, with the way he's racing, I see some stakes tries down here and things like that. But right now, he also kind of fits our little 3 broke guys angle of moving up in class from his career start. So, I went with the number 7 on top. I didn't feel strong enough to just single him. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Joe already hit my horse as well. Yeah, I had the 4 as my backup pick. So I went with Ray Judicata. Trained by John Service, an excellent horseman, and ridden by Javier Castellano. I'm not even going to say it. Again, Joe had kind of caught a speed bias. A horse is going to need the lead and be up there on the front. Probably going to run into Mr. Jordan up there. Could even run into Tale of Life. And so maybe Joe and Ray have got it with Cyrus Alexander in this one. But I went 7-4 in this particular race. And I think if I had B picks, I think Cyrus Alexander. See that there? I'm sorry about the horrible font, but yeah, the number 1 horse did make it in there as a B pick for me, and then the 5 finally down as a C pick. So 7-4 for me. I have 1-7 down here for Joe, and I have Ray with the 2 on top. All right, hang on 1 second, and I will go ahead and come back. All right, ready to go ahead and move on to. We're going to go to race number 9. This is one of my favorite races on the card tonight. This is the Gallant Bob Stakes. They're going 6 furlongs on the main track. The purse is $300,000 to 3-year-olds only. 12 starters, including the coupled entry. And your morning line favorite in post number 5, it's our buddy from Woodbine, No Holding Back Bear, for trainer Michael DePaulo, and ridden by Eurico Rosa da Silva. He's listed at 5-2 on the morning line. Joe, this race literally drew runners from all over the country, and it includes a couple of favorites that I've really developed, and it's got 2 of my favorite jockeys in the race who race outside of California. So up first in the Gallant Bob from Philadelphia is our very own Noble Joe from Temecula.
Thanks, Rich. Being that we actually kind of tossed the morning line favorite out of the first race, because I mean, I know you mentioned Mr. Jordan, but only as a C pick. I actually kind of don't feel bad about actually going with the 2 favorites, or actually 2 of the favorites in this spot. I went with the morning line chalk. I like no holding back Bears race in the King's Bishop. And actually my second choice is the number 2, Mind Your Biscuits, who also ran in that race and only got beat by No Holding Back Bear by a half length. And I mean, he was so Mind Your Biscuits was close to being third in that spot. And actually I wanted to see, Rich, can you pull up the 2 Mind Your Biscuits? Because the PPs that I had showed Mind Your Biscuits having no rider. Okay, you see the same thing. So does anybody know, or do you know who the rider happens to be? I checked yesterday and I still wasn't able to find out who's going to be on this horse tomorrow.
Let's see. Let's swing over to DRF. I'll swing over to DRF while you figure it out.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like I said, I thought No Holding Back Bear is going to be going to sit a nice trip. He's solid. He should be outside in the second flight. I don't think he needs the lead. He looked like he did okay against Drifong in the King's Bishop last time, and there are no Drifongs in this race at all. He's going to be close to the lead. He's very consistent, 7 of 8 in the money this year, 6 times in the exacta. The 6 furlong distance may actually even be better for him than the 7 furlong distance of the King's Bishop. So I went with the 2 favorites. Again, No Holding Back Bear and Mind Your Biscuits were my top 2 choices. I like Mind Your Biscuits ran okay. He kind of got a clunk up. I mean, he didn't really get into the money, but he was close enough to be third. And he was in the pack with No Holding Back Bear. So it's really hard to separate those 2. I like the speed, generally like the speed horses more. So I went with the 5 on top, the 2 second. And I did want to mention another Jerry Hollendorfer trainee, and that's the 11. Who's out?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, tried a mile in the Shared Belief last time, and based on the performance, I'm not sure the horse wants to go a mile. I think the horse is more of a sprinter. Back going 6 furlongs, and when he was running 6 furlongs, he was running against some pretty good horses. Jazzy Times was actually one of the speed horses that scratched out of the King's Bishop the morning of the race. And in the race that Who's Out ran second, the July 30th race at Del Mar, race 4, the 4th place finisher in that race was Power Jam, who came back to win a race that Rich and I actually went to see at Del Mar. I guess it was Pacific Classic Day. And Power Jam pretty much came back to win pretty easily for Baffert in an allowance race. So Who's Out's been keeping some pretty decent company. And like I said, I'm kind of throwing out the mile race last time out. I think the horse is better suited for 6 furlongs. And at 12-1, I mean, if we had room on the ticket, I'd like to include him. Again, he would be my 3rd choice in the race behind the 2 classier horses, No Holding Back Bear and Mind Your Biscuits. But yeah, and Mike Smith, you can't go wrong with Mike Smith on big money days. He's coming here for a different reason, obviously, which we'll get to later. But I don't mind having him, and he'll be sitting on the outside, watching everything go on inside of him. But he'd be my 3rd pick. So in order for me, it's 5, 2, and 11 in the Gallant Bob. Rich?
All right. And before I get to my analysis, I'll just know this is going to be one of those scary races for you, Joe, because unfortunately you and Mr. Corrado are right on the exact same page. So Ray has also got the number 5, No Holding Back Bear, on his top line, and his backup choice here. So Ray just went single A and single B here, and he's got number 2, Mind Your Biscuits, as his backup pick. So you and Ray on the exact same page. Unfortunately, I can, I guess, put a 3rd check mark on your top line here, although, again, I did not single in this race. I love No Holding Back Bear. I actually hit him at this 25-1 show placing here, the show by a nose. And Eurico Rosa da Silva, is one of the aforementioned two top jockeys that I love, who races outside of California. The other one being Florin Giroux, right down here. So I really enjoy it and thought that No Holding Back Bear has a great chance. Joe kind of touched on my B pick, so I really think who's out, the 11, beating Jazzy Times. Jazzy Times came back and was in the Dre Fong race, or was in the Dre Fong race all the way up to the point that he scratched and went out of it. And Bob Baffert afterwards said he was pretty sure that Jazzy Times was going to run second to Dre Fong. He really felt that he had 1-2. It's at a period in time, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, where Bob Baffert has been really hot. And that horse has been, kind of a signal. So I had the 11 down as my second pick, and right there on the same line with them was my second of the two top picks, a horse that Joe and I saw at the track a little earlier this year at Santa Anita, named Navy Him, for Richard Baltus Racing and Rafael Bejarano. And Joe, no, this is actually not one of my San Luis Rey connections, even though it is Baltus Racing like that. As you see here, this one actually worked out at Santa Anita and Del Mar.
Yeah.
He's a pretty quick horse. He's got good early speed. As you see here, even at Santa Anita, he's able to keep up with the quickest there at Santa Anita. He hasn't really clocked in at those top numbers, but he's a good, strong competitor. Recently, he actually dead heated in this one against a horse named Well Measured, and he was on the lead in the muscle the entire way. So I really didn't think that Navy Him had a decent shot here. And so I went 5-4 as my top two picks. I really felt like if I don't mention this horse, because on my individual ticket, I would probably go as many as 3 deep in this race. I'm not sure, but I also like this horse 3-5 India. It's got that trainer that we keep hearing about so often on this show. His name is Chad Brown. He's got Javier Castellano. They're a 23% combination, and I just felt like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them. The horse came right out of the chute, won at first asking. All they did was put it in the Breeders' Futurity, which was a G1 race. You can forgive that one out, obviously. Took off 6 months, came back. So this horse is 3 for 4 lifetime, and could be a bit of a win machine, and hits him right between the eyes. And again, Chad Brown, you need to beware anything that he puts out there. And so I went 5-4, and again, on my individual ticket, I would probably even include the 3 on my top line. My top line is going to go 3 deep in this race. I'm going to get a little chalky a little bit later, so I've got some bullets to spare. And again, Joe already caught it. I did really like the 11. I like the running company that horse has been keeping. I like Jerry Hollendorfer. I love Mike Smith. So 5-4-3 for Rich. Joe's got 5-2, and I see Ray's got 5. So at least I'm seeing a common theme there on one of those horses.
And any information on the rider on Mind Your Biscuits?
Mind Your Biscuits is still listed with no rider, Joe.
Wow, that's very odd at this late time. It's amazing. But I guess either they'll get a rider or they'll scratch out, one of the two.
My little Mike Smith
maybe that's really where Ray is. Maybe Ray's riding Mind Your Biscuits tomorrow. For those of you out there who don't know, Ray is about 5'2", and he probably, when he was younger, probably could have, and he would have pretty much made any weight. He was about 5'2" and about 100 pounds when he was younger. So back in the day, he could have, but anyway.
All right. Back to the real racing. Here we go. We're on, and like I said, to summarize that, we've got Rich with 3-4-5, Joe's got 2-5, and Ray's got the 5. And we are on to race number 10. This is the Cotillion Stakes. It's a grade 1, and they are going 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. The purse is $1 million. It's for filly 3-year-olds only. 6 starters, and your morning line favorite at 1-2 is in post number 5. She's making her first appearance on our show since she destroyed the field at the Santa Anita Oaks. It's Songbird. Joe, last week we saw the best racing mare in the country on turf. That's Tepin. This week it's very possible that we're going to see the best racing filly in the country on dirt. Who do you like in the Cotillion? And I better hear at least one cool Led Zeppelin reference during this analysis.
Well, let's put it this way. I think you will see whoever is the best 3-year-old filly, you will the best filly in the country. You will see her, at least on dirt, because Catch a Glimpse is still a filly. Beholder is obviously a mare because she's 5. So whoever wins this race to me is the leading candidate for 3-year-old filly champion. I'm not actually going to give you any Led Zeppelin references. I'm sorry, even though I do sing that song every time we were at the track and Songbird happens to run. She's the best out there, at least. I mean, 10 for 10. Well, I don't really know what other superlatives you can say. She's done everything she's been asked. Even and the one or two, I guess it was the only time that she's really gotten any pressure from Karina Mia. She responded and drew away and won by 5 1/4, which is actually, I figured it out. The average margin of length of every victory she has is 5 1/4 lengths. She fits the track profile. She likes to be close to the lead. I'm not sure if Catherine Sophia and Karina Mia are going to do anything to try and team up against Songbird. I don't know exactly how the race is going to unfold. I would expect Karina Mia and Karina Mia and Catherine Sophia to be close to the lead. I'm not sure exactly. Catherine Sophia to me is kind of a key. If she takes back, Songbird will just sit, and it really doesn't make any difference to Songbird. Songbird is just going to sit outside the lead. If Karina Mia wants to go, fine. If Karina Mia doesn't want to go, Songbird will go and take it herself. I just don't. I don't see anybody beating Songbird. I mean, Catherine Sophia and Karina Mia are very, very good horses, and in any other year, they could be a 3-year-old filly champion. This is just not the year, and I don't see anybody beating Songbird before she gets to run against a couple of older fillies, Beholder and Stellar Wind, in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So basically, she's a single for me. If she goes down, the ticket goes down with her. So, Rich, unfortunately, I can't really add much more to that.
I've got to, I've got to take at least a swing here. She's 10 for 10 lifetime. She's 5 for 5 at the distance. She's about the best horse we've seen at this class in quite some time. And I'm shocked because she was an easy single for me, and I see she's an easy single for you. Folks, our third broke guy, maybe this was why he didn't show up on the show, Joe. Yeah, he's got the 5, and he also has the 9 on his here.
The 9?
Wait a minute.
I was going to say, if he's got the 9, then there's a definite reason he didn't show up today.
Yeah, let's see what I did here. I copied that over from the last day. Because I believe he was actually singling. Yeah, I'm sorry. He was singling him.
Okay.
That's his beeping.
Yeah, the 9's probably got as good a chance as anybody in this spot if Songbird doesn't win. Yeah, it's really tough to beat her. Again, the 2 fillies she's running against are really good, but like I said, I'm gonna have to see it to believe it.
So actually, specifically, the comment from Mr. Tirado tonight is Songbird is an amazing horse, and she is worthy of our single. So we are going to be singling Songbird tonight. And again, I'll come back to the audience.
Easy peasy.
And on to the finale. All right, here we go. On to race number 11. It's the Pennsylvania Derby. This is the feature for the day. Grade 2. They're going 1 1/8 on the main track. Purse is $1.25 million for 3-year-olds only. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite is your reigning Kentucky Derby champion. It's the representative from California, Nyquist, trained by Doug O'Neill and ridden by Mario Gutierrez. 5-2 on the morning line. He's going to start from post number 9. Joe, $1.25 million on the line. It drew the Kentucky Derby champ, the Preakness champ, the Louisiana Derby champ. Heck, we got the Indiana and West Virginia Derby champ. We all know who trains this horse. You're up here first on the Pennsylvania Derby, and to be honest with you, I'm thankful for that.
Is the NBA champ in this race, or the X division, the X Games champ, or something? I mean, it seems as if everybody who's done anything as a 3-year-old is in this spot. Sans Arrogate, of course, and maybe I guess no, I guess Dortmund's 4 now. This is an interesting race, and to me, when I handicap 3-year-olds later in the year, I tend to look for horses that didn't necessarily fight every battle during the Triple Crown and have not taken any steps back, and maybe because I always have a feeling that those horses may be either prepping for races about a month from now, or maybe they're just over the top and maybe they need a break. And I said that about Exaggerator after the Travers debacle. I kind of agree with Ray, and I know Ray mentioned that he wasn't touching Exaggerator on a fast track, and based on the weather forecast, it kind of sounds like that's what we're going to get tomorrow. Even if it's good, I just think Exaggerator is kind of over the top here. I think he's fought every battle, and I'm just not sure he's the one to fear here. And actually, if it were my ticket, he wouldn't be on the ticket at all. So like I said, I'm actually kind of going for some new shooters, and the bobblehead that you have on your desk is not the right one for me in this spot. I was looking for that other guy, the guy in the blue blazer and the red tie and the white hair and the sunglasses. What's his name again?
I believe we call him Bob.
Bob. Yeah, Bob. Okay. I like Bob's charge in this spot. I like Cupid. I think he's had a little break. He hasn't really fought like I said, he hasn't fought all the big wars like the others have fought. He's going to be tested in this spot to see if he's good enough to beat these horses. But he's got speed, track profile, and there's the bobblehead right there. The track profile plays that way, and I don't know what we're going to get out of Nyquist. I know you've seen him in the morning. At least you did see him last weekend, if I'm not correct.
I did.
And how did he look to you?
Well, he looks wonderful, but just so everybody knows, I'm not on this show for my ability to appraise horse flesh.
This is true. But since you've actually had a chance to see him, since he took a little bit of a break after the Haskell. So like I said, I like Cupid. I think Bejarano's going to ride him. I think he's going to go to the lead. I think Bob wants him on the lead, and I think he's going to play come and get me. And if somebody wants to challenge him, if Nyquist is good enough to beat him, which we know he's good enough, we just need to know if he's fit enough. And based on all the workouts at a mile at San Luis Rey for the last few weeks, he seems to be fit enough. But like I said, Baffert's just running so hot right now. I don't think there's any way you can throw any of his horses out. He's got, like I said, fits the profile. He's been working well at Santa Anita, and Bob doesn't ship across the country for no reason. He's here to win. He's not here to get some kind of booby prize or anything like that. He's out to win. So I like Cupid on top. And I'm actually going in a different direction. Again, the same kind of theme as I mentioned earlier. I like the 10 a little bit, Sunny Ridge. Coming off the third place finish in the Haskell on the sloppy track, the horse ran Exaggerator within a neck at the Delta Downs jackpot in November. So it's not as if the horse hasn't had a chance to run against good horses. He was one who didn't fight all the wars. He got beat by Shagaf, but only 3 lengths in the Gotham. Lauban, who ended up winning the Jim Dandy, is a pretty good horse. Adventus is stakes placed as a 3-year-old. American Freedom, who ran second in the Haskell, is also a very good horse. Obviously, finishing second behind Arrogant in the Travers is no embarrassment. So Sunny Ridge has been fighting with some good horses. I think he's got a chance to be. He might get into the trifecta in the exacta. And he's 12-1 in the morning line. I like, Joe Bravo likes the East Coast. He knows that Philadelphia or Parx again. See, I'm dating myself. The Parx, Monmouth, New York circuit. I don't think Jason Service at 42% for the meet and 28% for the year. He's obviously gotten some lessons from his dad on how to train horses. So I like the 5 on top. The 10 is my second choice, and I'm going to go with Gunrunner underneath. Again, another horse who got beat handily in the Travers. Of course, everybody got beat handily by Arrogant, but that was his best speed figure to this point. I think he's a better middle distance horse, and I think mile and eighth will fit him perfectly. And he might be the one who benefits if, for whatever reason, Cupid and Nyquist decide to duel each other into submission. He'll be the one who should be sitting right behind those and take advantage of that speed duel. Probably more than anybody else. He will definitely at least get first run. So I went with the fresh runners and the horses that hadn't necessarily run in all the wars earlier in the year, in the Triple Crown, and even the races last year. So I went 5-10 on top, and Gun Runner would be a saver underneath if we could include him on the ticket. So 5-10-7 for me, and I'm sure Rich is going to go in a little bit of a different direction, aren't you, Rich?
This is going to be a little bit scary for us here on that because we do not have a great track record when we all end up on the same page. So first of all, I will give you we do not. I'm a handicapper, and not only do I handicap horses, but I handicap the people, and boy, I get a little bit concerned when we're all staying on the same page. So I will first give you Mr. Toronto's pick. So our friend Ray is currently not going to be able to make it in for the show, or if he does, he might come in at the very end for the scrapping. He was about 30 to 40 minutes away. I do know that. So he went with Doug O'Neill's trainee. Mario Gutierrez aboard, the Kentucky Derby champion for Paul Redham Racing. That's Nyquist. 8 for 10 in his lifetime. And his underneath horse in this race, his second choice, is in fact the Baffert trainee, Cupid. So Ray went 9-5 on top. His B picks in this race were the 2 and the 4. So he's got Exaggerator on his B line, and he also has Connect for Chad Brown with Javier Castellano aboard. So on to Mr. Sharp, and this is where the concern is really going to draw to me and things like that. Joe has already touched on it. Like that. I sent out a text to you last week. It was right after it was at Los Alamitos. And so last week at Los Alamitos, a Bob Baffert horse whose name is Taze on Ice came in and set the track record at Los Alamitos. And I sent you guys a text immediately. Baffert's got the track record at Saratoga. He's got the track record at Los Alamitos. He's got the futurity champion, which means he's got the preliminary favorite for the Kentucky Derby already. Right now, it just appears to be Baffert's world, and we're all just living in it. And that's what I keep thinking about. It doesn't matter what kind of races they are. The race with Taze on Ice actually turned out to be a claiming race. They set the track record in Los Al. But whatever it is, when Bob Baffert's on fire, you just want to respect that. So you want to respect the bobblehead. Joe already touched on it. There's a number of reasons to look at this horse. He is a speed horse. It looks like there's plenty of speed in this race. He could hook up with Nyquist, and it could be a submission situation. I'm just going to play the odds that Bob Baffert's got it going right now, and I'm going to go ahead and play Cupid. He was my top pick. I'm inverted from what Ray had, and so my second pick is my favorite horse from earlier this year. Again, he's Nyquist. He's won 8 of 10. He's 1 for 2 at this distance. He was 5 for 5 in 2015 and 3 for 5 earlier this year. He did put up a little bit of a clunker in his comeback race there in the Haskell. It was on a wet track and a sloppy track. And I did see him over at San Luis Rey. And for what that's worth, it's worth nothing. He did look great. He looked wonderful. And Doug O'Neill, who I got a picture with, told me that he ran great or was working out great and things like that. Doug O'Neill, one of the nicest guys I seem to have met so far in the racing game. And so I did have Nyquist there on my second choice. If I was going to go with a third pick, watch out for the weather. So I do want to bring that up to anybody who's watching this. Make sure you keep your eye on the skies over there. There is a 20% chance of rain. We all know if it opens up and it gets wet, everybody's going to shift their money over to Exaggerator. And I would be just, insensitive if I didn't mention that. So you've got Keith DeSormo, you've got Kent DeSormo on an off track. The horse is 4 for 5 with 1 second place, and he has destroyed similar competition, some of these horses before, on and off track. But if it's dry, as Joe said, I'm not looking for Exaggerator tomorrow. My third pick, again, just based on class and what I've seen so far this year, Stephen Asmussen and Forin Giroux on number 7, Gunrunner. Another speed type. So maybe he can sit off of Nyquist and Cupid if there is a speed duel, right up there in the front. So I think he has a little bit of an outside chance. Again, he has been up against most of these before, and the one thing you want to note about them is even when he's been up against them before, he has yet to defeat any of them. So really my top 2 picks are the 5 and the 9, and I guess my backup pick here would be the 7. Just keep an eye on the skies to see if Exaggerator, the number 2, is worth an inclusion there.
Hello, guys.
There he is. All right.
I was driving home from the city. How's everybody? Good?
Good.
You are just in time for the finale or for our final and moving into our scrum. Well, I've got Rich here in race number 11 with the 5 and the 9. We've got Joe with the 5 and the 10. And I've got Ray down here with the 9 and the 5. And Ray, we're on the Pennsylvania Derby. If you would like to elaborate on why you like Nyquist and Cupid.
Well, yeah, I like Nyquist. I mean, Derby champion. If he's picked this didn't turn out too well, he got sick. He had the blood issue. And I just feel he needed the Haskell. He got a little break. And, I still feel he's one of the better 3-year-olds out there. So this is his race to make a comeback. And if he's 100%, he's going to run a really good race. Cupid, he's game as can be, Baffert's hot, and he's going to be up there. I think those two are going to run well. The Exaggerator, I'm waiting for him to run a big race. Actually to win one of these big ones on a dry track. I mean, he's been fortunate to get wet tracks. He's been winning. So until he does something spectacular on the dry track, I'm just going to try and stay away from him. I don't really want to touch him. And I'm also rooting for my friend's horse, Connect. Jerry McClellan, good luck, guys. Paul Pompa, and I know you guys will be there, and I wish I was there with them, but can't make it tomorrow. Got some stuff to do. But it'll be a great day, I tell you. It's gonna be a really good day. So yeah, I'm hoping Nyquist does it. He's deserving to come back. Rich?
So we're through our selection phase. Let me go ahead and bring up our template, and we will go ahead and get ready to go ahead and put together our pick 4 ticket here. Joe, have you got any exciting topics you want to share with the audience? Anything coming up in the future that we need to be aware of? Or?
I mean, the two big days next week. Santa Anita's got 5 grade 1s, and we'll be handicapping that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it out to the track that day. I will be with my son on his scouting camping trip. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get there with Rich. Sorry. Believe me, I'd love to be there. Also at Belmont, there are 3 grade 1s and 2 the Miss Grillo and the Pilgrim Stakes for 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
The 2-year-olds, the grade 3s that generally lead to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. So Belmont's got a big day next Saturday as well.
Yeah, they took the Turf Classic off of the Super Saturday and put it into their own turf day. Yeah, that's
right.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah, and they'll have their bigger stakes are coming up the following weekend on the 8th.
Yeah.
And by then Keeneland will also be open.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be having big stakes races at big days at Keeneland, and Tepin should make her reappearance somewhere during that meet. I don't think a firm decision has been made. My understanding was she was going to try either the First Lady, which is for fillies only, or it's the Shadwell Turf Mile against males. I don't think they've made a decision yet, but she will be appearing apparently at the upcoming Keeneland meet before Breeders' Cup in November. But other than that, I don't know that there's really anything exciting going on. I mean, the fact that Breeders' Cup is about 6 weeks away is pretty good.
I'm glad I turned off my camera before you told everybody that you're not going to the track with me next week.
Believe me, Rich, as much as I love spending time with my son, I love going camping with him. After we just went camping last week for a different event. And to be honest with you, after that event, I really wanted to go to the track next weekend, but it's the time I have with my son, as much as I'd love to have him at the track with me instead.
I know
the wife and I think that the scouts and the structure and the discipline and everything that goes along with it is something that he needs right now. So I want to encourage him as much as possible in that regard. There'll be more big days, more Breeders' Cups, and more Super Saturdays that we'll definitely attend, and maybe he'll be lucky enough to attend them with us.
All right.
Sounds good.
The one thing that I'll share with everybody is if you're a TVG, I'll do a small pro or a little plug here for TVG. If you're a TVG account holder, you might want to check your email. You probably already got this invitation in there. They sent this invite out to their fans for tomorrow at Parx Racing. I believe they have a $10 free wager. You can go ahead and pick any race that you want, and go ahead and wager $10 on the first mobile bet that you get. And if your horse wins, obviously you get paid, and if it doesn't, they pay you back. So, free $10 wager. Pick out somebody good. Hey, Stargate won 11-1 when he was on TVG that day, and they were offering two. They were doubling your odds on that day.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so on to our pick 4 selections here. And we're going to go ahead and start filling these in for us.
Yeah, and also Saturdays, my Saturdays are consumed with my daughter's dance classes. So going out to the track is, I tell you. Maybe Sunday fun day. How's that?
There you go. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't really run any big days on Sundays for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I mean, they're very few and far between. Sadly.
That's why mobile wagering is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Awesome if you're good at it, not so much if you're not. But if you're not, I hope you would know to stay away from the phone. Then again, wagering's good wherever it is if you're good at it.
If you're at a wedding, you're jumping up down, maybe hit the race.
Yeah, don't butt dial a bet in on TVG.
Yeah.
I'm torn here because I think I do actually have the all 3 on that line 5, 2, 4, 3.
Oh, you're okay. You're still trying to figure out the Gallant Bob.
Yeah, the Gallant Bob. So I've got I've got those 3 on my top line. I got the 5, the 4, and the 3. I've got the 5 as my top pick. I just had the 4 and the 3. And 3 times in, pretty close.
Yeah, we're maybe Ray. No, maybe Ray. I'm assuming you don't know. You still don't know. We were actually looking at the fact that Mind Your Biscuits has no rider listed for tomorrow. Have you ever seen that at this late stage?
No, actually, no.
See, you learned. It's the first time for everything on Three Broad Guys Handicapping.
Huh.
Okay, so this is 4 times 3 on the top line. Is 4 times 3.
Rich, we see you. We don't see the template.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
No worries.
Okay. I get torn between.
Maybe I'll jump aboard, but
there we go. Okay.
Showing you guys myself.
I'm a good 150 plus now, so unless I'm in the full highway.
Yeah, man. I told Rich that you should have in your younger days you could have went down to Philly Park and rode that horse.
Oh yeah.
So right now that's 4 by 3 is 12 by, let's just say 2 is 24. That's 12. That's a $12 ticket. So if we include all those 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4 by 4 by 3, which is 48, which is a $24 ticket. I don't have a problem. We could do that. If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, I do want to make one suggestion though, or maybe we could. I don't know if we should discuss this off or on air, because I know Rich mentioned if in fact it turns out to be inclement weather and the track turns out to be not fast, to add Exaggerator in that last box as a possible play. So basically it would be 4 by 4 by 4. So the ticket would be $32 if we added Exaggerator. I'm assuming that would be okay with you guys?
I'm absolutely okay.
Yeah. Where's the
so-
racing phone with the extra with the stud?
Well, we don't need. We don't. We already know. The problem isn't that we already don't. We already know he's a good horse on the sloppy track. We just don't know if it's going to rain at all. If it rains, I hope that if it's going to rain, please rain before first post of the 8th race. Don't rain after race 9, where we haven't included the horse in the ticket, and then damn. So okay, so I mean, to me, this ticket looks fine. We can go 1, 2 because we don't have the favorite in race 8. We have the 3 morning line favorites in race 9, of course, Songbird in race 10, and I would assume. I don't know if Nyquist is going to be. I wonder. I kind of wonder if Nyquist is going to. I guess he'll be favored at 5. He's 5-2 on the morning line. Maybe he'll be favored.
Yeah, I'm not based on the weather. The weather thing will
sure. Oh, of course. If it doesn't rain, I would assume Nyquist would be favored. Yeah.
Unless everybody else is handicapping like all 3 of us are, in which case it's going to be Cupid.
Hey, you know what? If they want to let Baffert go at 5-1, I'll be standing in line.
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
Maybe that's where that's what I do. Maybe I put my $10 wager from TVG on Cupid.
There we go.
Yeah, nice win back.
the way Baffert's running, why not?
Yeah, and I can bet this one straight. I can just bet $24 and just do it. 3 broke guys on my other account. I like this ticket.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to go 1, 2, 4, 7 with 2, 3, 4, 5 with 5, the 5 being Songbird, and with 5, 9, 10. And just keep in mind, folks, if you're watching this and you're planning on playing this ticket, keep in mind that we're looking at that rain forecast that said that there was a 20% chance of rain in the forecast in the Philadelphia area. So if we do get rain, we're looking at adding the number 2 exaggerated to this ticket. It would make it a $32 ticket with the 2, 5, 9, and 10 in the Pennsylvania Derby, the finale. Well, Ray, it's really nice to get you in here, man. I know you kind of stopped in here for the finale. You got anything you want to add on any of the earlier races before we go ahead and wrap up? I feel like we just didn't get to hear enough from Mr. Torado today.
Well, Songbird, what can you say? She's awesome.
What can you say? What do you
She's
think about
undefeated champion of the world. Michael Buffett.
Well, again, like I was mentioning earlier, I mean, she's very good, no question. She's great against 3-year-olds. If I want to see her make it through this spot, but I want to see her against Beholder and Stellar Wind and see. Let's when that running goes on at Santa Anita, we'll see what happens. It would be great. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Actually, the Gallon Bob, I don't know what happened. The pick 4's races 8 through 11, right?
Yes. Well, they actually they do have 2. They have 2 pick 4s, race 8 through 11 and race 9 through 12.
Oh,
but given that we didn't want, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Yeah, honestly.
That explains it.
So,
Wait. It explains the 9 that we were talking about.
It happened that the numbers coincide with Mind Your Biscuits, but I have no opinion on that race. I didn't handicap it, so.
Well, the Gallup Bob's in the pick 4. The Gallup Bob is in either pick 4. The race that we're talking about is the Cyrus Alexander. It's the mile and a 16th race in race 8. That's the one that you didn't handicap.
Yeah, and we've got the 2 in there for you.
I have this race 9.
Yeah, we've got 2 down with the horse.
No. Okay, wait a minute. We need to start over again.
No. I'm good with the PA champion with the encryption and.
Yeah, that's race 8.
That's race 8. And that was where you had encryption.
Race 9 is the Gallant Bob.
It is?
In race 9, you appear to have had no holding back there.
Race 9 is, are you kidding me?
No.
Race 9?
Race 9 is the Gallant Bob. Race 9 is the 6 furlong Gallant Bob.
What did Bruce do to me? I got race 9 with the PA champion stakes.
Oh, Lord.
Rich.
Okay.
Well, my pick's okay. So
Comic relief on the
Gallon
Three
Bomb.
Broke Guys. Oh my goodness.
Once again, so
Oh my goodness.
I know why they named the show that.
Ray, you should have just missed this show tonight. We should have just taken the numbers. It would have been fine. Nobody would have known the difference, and now everything's all screwed up, and we have our reputation shot to hell.
No.
Not that we had one.
No, my picks are valid. I just don't have an opinion on the Gallon Bomb. That's all.
Okay, what's your opinion on the Gallon Bomb?
Do you have a few minutes to handicap it right now? We have 10 minutes. It's not 10 o'clock yet.
Yeah.
Let me find the race. Hold on.
Here it comes. There you go. Just look it on the screen right here. Hang on.
I feel like Chuck Berry in the Gong Show, and somebody's gonna come out and go bong. Chuck Berry. I'm sorry.
I have this 9 as the PA championship.
Here you go, Ray.
I did put that
terrific.
Races just in case.
That's terrific.
There's the Gallon Bob coming up on the screen. And by the way, just so you know, for the Gallon Bob, you somehow managed to end up on the favorite. You got no holding back there, and then your backup pick here was Find Your Biscuits, which Joe also liked. It wasn't such bad handicapping for somebody who was on the wrong race.
Yeah, I want to know what race he did handicap now.
Well, I'm sure it explains the 9 in race number 10. It's funny that I didn't catch that and just say, "What the fuck? You didn't single."
Oh my God, this is funny.
My business here has race 8, the Gallon Bomb, which I didn't include because I was 9 to 12.
If we don't win some kind of media award for this, we never will. Oh my God.
Okay, Ray, you have this is not like the good old days like that. You got to speed handicap this one. You got to really like fly through this thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. Actually, let's see.
And just so you know, on the ticket already is what was that? So on this one, we've already got 4 picks. So we've got the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. So you don't actually have anybody unique in this race. The picks that you had from your ticket, from your odd ticket there, were the 5 and the 2, which puts you on the same horse that Joe and I had, which was no holding back there.
No, that's 5-2 a Songbird.
Yeah, I know.
And the 2, yeah. But actually, yeah, I trust you guys. It looks like a let's see, 3-5 India. Yeah, it's yeah, I like that horse. I like 3-5 India. Minor Biscuits. Yeah, definitely. Ran into a bustle last time. Saratoga, those 2 races. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I could find somebody else. Oh yeah, Navy Ham. We saw the horse in Delmar.
Yeah.
And he's already on the ticket.
You don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah.
You want to fight? You want somebody else?
No.
I'll give you some. No, I mean it's funny. I was because of this. I was actually looking through the race again, and I just looked at Awesome Speed, and I was like, well, okay. Other than the debut at Parx around 1 turn, he's 3 for 4. I said Goldberg's 32%, Paco Lopez 28% at the meet, 4 for 7. I'm like 12 to 1. I can see worse.
That's how. Yeah, I like that horse.
Not that I want to throw any more on the ticket. Believe me, don't get me wrong, but I think we should just go with it the way we have it.
The cutting back in distance, that's a very good positive off the layoff. We've seen that many times, Joe. The horse goes long.
Well, and generally when they come back off the layoff, they're always anxious to go, and they kind of like to show speed too. So
sprint, oh yeah.
Yeah,
let's include also speed. This might be the one.
We're not adding him to the ticket now.
No.
Because that becomes 4x5. I mean, it becomes a $40 ticket. Well, actually, well, wait a minute. It would be 5x4x3 without exaggerator, so that would make it a $30 ticket.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Don't worry, it's not gonna rain tomorrow. I mean, it's not gonna be sufficient. He's out. No,
You mean You're talking about exaggerator.
I took down the pool. It's not gonna rain. It's gonna be good. Cool weather. Cool, dry. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we saw your pictures today. At least I saw your picture today.
20% is really not much. That's
no.
Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah. All right, that's my opinion.
So when we want your opinion, we'll give it to you.
My other option, hit the off button. Walk away.
No Keno tickets. I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks. I can play Keno all I want when I'm there.
Listen, this horse gets my trip out to the West Coast, man. Let's put this horse in there. Awesome speed.
Okay, well, then I gotta take out one of the 3 that I have on here because I got the 3 and the 4 as well as the 5. So I gotta pick between those.
All right.
So wait a minute. Are we really adjusting the ticket?
Well, if he's saying that he wants Awesome Speed as his top pick, then I can't have because the way the ticket's constructed right now, Joe.
Yeah.
You've got 2 picks, which is the 2 and the 5.
Well, yeah, okay.
And I also had the 5 on mine, but then I've got like 2 additional picks, which is the 3. Neither one of you guys had the 3 or the 4, so I gotta take one of those out. So you guys got everybody who's watching this right now. Whichever horse I take out,
go.
Take out as much money as you guys have. That's the win bet for tomorrow.
Bet.
Wait, who's going now? Who's taking out? No.
No, because we're going with I guess my top 2 picks were the 5 and the 2. Your top 2 picks are the 7 and the 5. Is that correct?
7 and 5, right?
I'm talking about your race 5 and 7.
Correct. Yeah, Awesome Speed, right?
Okay, and Rich has the 5.
And so I've got the 5 and
either the 3 or the 4.
Either the 3 or the 4. I'm trying to think about which one I want.
Okay. Well, do you guys? I mean, we can include all 5 horses if we want.
Let's
do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Because the ticket would only be $30. We're only talking $6, Rich.
No, let's put them in.
I mean,
are you sure? I left those 3 on my top line because that's how I'm going to bet them tomorrow.
Yeah. So then let's throw them all in there. It's only an extra $6, and I don't do. I need to remind you about saving $6 or $4 and what happens when you do?
Put them in. We'll be sorry.
We'll be sorry either way. The 3 sorry guys handicapping show.
You could easily go.
Why does that have Gallon Bob race 8? I don't know.
And then take out.
I'm gonna tell you, Gallon Bob race 8.
Like I said, I think we should just add them to the ticket. We'll include the 3 and the 4, Rich. If they're both on your top line, we shouldn't exclude them just because it's $6 more. It's not like we don't have. We don't have. It's not like we're begging on the street corner for money here.
I will. Like I said, I'm just I probably wouldn't go more than
But again, remember we don't have the favorite, at least the morning line favorite in the first leg. So if it pays, if one of the longer shots in that race wins, I mean it's going to pay. I'm not afraid about chalking out and losing money in this spot, even though there's no guarantee.
Yeah. So it'll be a $40 play if we bring an exaggerator.
No.
If for whatever reason it does rain and we bring an exaggerator, it goes from 30 to 40.
Okay.
But since Nostradamus Torado has said it won't rain tomorrow,
all right, let's do this. If it rains, we take out Nyquist.
I don't think that's going to happen, Ray.
I am good with that. Huh? No, I am good with that. Nyquist is but
the problem, Ray, is that Nyquist is on Rich's top line. You can't do that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
you weren't here for that
Okay.
part of the show.
Oh yeah, I love Nyquist. I think he's gonna win. So,
If we were gonna do that, I would rather I would take the 10 out before I would take out Nyquist, because the 10 was one of my choices.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other possibility is that one of the horses that we have, one of the 5 in the Gallant Bob, scratches out of the race anyway. I mean, there's always that possibility too. So, as it is now, it's $30. If we need to include Nyquist because of weather, it'll be $40. And obviously, I will not make the bet without checking with both of you guys first.
Anybody who's looking for a good win bet out there, the 3 is the horse that I was going to pull.
3-5 India's going to the circle. As Trevor Denman would say, put the ring around the 3. If you got win bets, go to the window.
All right. So we are all done for the evening. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed our show, we will be back next week when we get together to take a look at another exciting card. Joe, we're going home. Santa Anita is open. California Chrome is racing, and one of us is going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there in spirit. Or if you want to bring my picture and take selfies of me, if you can figure out a way to get me there like I said, I'll be there in spirit. But I'll be in. I'm not sure what city it's in. It's somewhere out near Julian, which unless you know Southern California, you wouldn't know where it is. It's about 30, 40 miles from here. And I will be regretting a lot of it.
All right, gentlemen. That's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you. For Joe English and Rich Dorado.
Yes, always.
Thank you for watching 3 Broke Guys. I'm Rich Sharp. Good luck and good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.